So it's actually been about a year almost exactly to this date since I last was on video. Last time I made a video recording, and it definitely feels weird to be back. There's an art in talking to yourself for sure, especially in front of a mic and getting comfortable with it that you could definitely lose if you don't practice it enough. And I definitely do feel rusty. I definitely do feel rusty. Now, truthfully, I don't have a script. I don't know what I want to say throughout this video. Like you know, it's been a very long time since I've talked to y'all, and an even longer time since I gave you guys an update. So I figured, even though I remember still, my last video was actually an update based on the plans of what I wanted to do for 2025. And now, obviously, here we are in 2026. I'd still give you guys an update on life and everything that's been going on. Since I've last seen you guys back in January, I think it was the 5th, it might have been the 6th, my life has changed a lot, both for the better and for the worse. But nonetheless, a lot of change, a lot of it necessity too. A lot of growing and development and time where I had to learn who I was, realize some of my flaws, some of my greatness, and truthfully how to balance out all my desires and wants, I think. Excuse me if this has a lot of cuts or a lot of jumps. It's just because I've never been the best articulate in my thoughts. So it's going to take me a little bit to get through all this. The beginning of last year, I remember still not having a job and living off of the savings from my last job that I got fired from, where I used to work at Dunkin', actually. And as much as I loved that job, it was draining. It was very draining, especially as someone who was trying to still do school. I used to work 50-hour weeks at Dunkin' just to get a paycheck, get to my money for real. And the money was great. The money was certainly great, but ultimately still did stop me from doing a lot of my passions. I mean, even something as simple as recording. You know what I mean? It took a lot out of me, so I wasn't even able to come in front of the camera and record for you guys, but I was already gone to that point, right? And so I was just living off the savings from that and looking for a new job while still attending school and living life, just doing, what every 21-year-old does. I was having a fun time being out and about, doing what I had to do.
Okay, hold on. Is there a certain time we gotta be done?
11 p.m. Oh, say that.
We'll be done before that. We're gonna be done way before that.
Okay, yeah.
We got you. You ready to the
Hey, appreciate y'all. Stay on. Appreciate y'all, bro.
Thank you.
A big speed. I give a fuck what you deal with.
And doing what I wanted to do partially. But right around that time, not too long after, I remember I actually got this new job that I've started working since. And still just another entry level basic pay job, nothing too extreme, nothing to brag about, of course, but something that's kept me afloat for sure. And along the same time, I've been making upgrades to the setup. Nothing you guys can see right now, but I got two different types of two different types of cameras, including I think they're both Canons. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not too certain, but both Canons. I have a new monitor right here on the right side of my setup that you guys can't see. I've gotten some more lighting to try to help out. As you can see, around my room has changed a little bit. I used to have my hamster in there. Rest in peace, Reese. He passed away not too long ago, and he's buried in the back with all his favorite toys. But yeah, so my setup has changed a little bit as I've been working and trying to progress. But I think the biggest thing, and kind of what I've been avoiding for apparently the last 5 minutes to talk about, is kind of what has also driven me to come back in front of the camera and to try this again and speak. And it's also the reason why I think I'm going to be changing, the channel direction. Still a gamer. I've loved games my whole life, so I definitely will still be playing games. Don't know if it'll be on a separate channel or if I'll record it or not. But the biggest thing that happened last year that changed me was my father passing. Um, Last July, he had gone in. We had brought him into the hospital after his sister had passed, because for a notable amount of time, he stopped caring about his gray hairs, stopped caring about his health, and we believe he had depression. And he was having a lot of pain in his legs specifically. And so we took him into the hospital to get it checked out. They had essentially told us that sorry if I get a little emotional, but they had essentially said that he had some blood clots in his legs, and he had quite a bit. I still have the bottle of acetaminophen that he was taking at the time, and he was downing them because he was in so much pain, but he didn't want to necessarily tell us or stress us out. And just me and my older brother, and of course him. And when we had brought him in, they said it was good. The timing that we had brought him in, that it was recoverable, and we called it at a good time, and it was better that we came sooner than earlier. After that first night of them checking him and just doing a whole bunch of scans and tests that we had to wait for the next day, he had stayed in that hospital. He was under their care in their bed, and I remember while visiting him in the hospital, he talked about how kind they were, how nice they were to him, and I'm very grateful for that. And I remember the next day when I had left to go to work. I believe I was about 4 hours into my shift when I had gotten the call from my brother's phone, and it was the doctor who was actually calling me, and they had basically said that the blood clots that I originally thought were just in his legs, that we were getting an AKG scan for, were all over his body. And now keep in mind, for one, that's Pops right there. That's Dad. He definitely drank a good bit, and so I don't believe that helped his case. And yeah, the drinking had definitely not helped the most, but it spread to his chest, to his heart, and he had a heart attack. And they had essentially told me just get there as quick as possible and, say your final goodbyes. Say your final goodbyes, and he can hear us, so tell him how much he was loved and cared for. Say whatever we wanted to say, get off our chest. All of the nurses there were super sweet. I remember there were two specific ones. This lady named Chelsea, and this other nurse who was actually one of his students, because he was an advisor for the college I go to. And they both were extremely sweet and super kind throughout the whole process, and even shed tears while we were in that room. But yeah, I want to say, to start off, especially when you grow up as someone who only has one parent, you truthfully don't understand the impact that it's had from that until you lose that parent. You know what I mean? I always been a very egotistical, cocky person, just believing I can do whatever I wanted, achieve whatever I wanted. And of course, a lot of that was instilled through my father, teaching me from a young age. But you realize how vulnerable you are and how tough life can be when you truly do lose that solid piece in your life. And I think primarily I wanna say that I could have never asked for a better father, and that truthfully there was no one like him. We held a beautiful service. Many people showed. Of course, family, a lot of family, his family. Um, a lot of people we consider family to this day, who are just very close to us. A lot of them who I grew up with, from the school that he taught at, and just from being a great community person. And I feel like you definitely could see and feel the love that was put in that room there. But I couldn't. There were the main thing that I could think about, knowing that my father passed, was he always talked about wanting to go to Egypt and wanting to explore the world, and he was only 55, going on 56. So it wasn't like he was old or anything. He still had plenty of time, that he could have done those things. But I noticed it being a pattern between him and between my grandmother. My grandmother always wanted to walk the same bridge that Martin Luther had, and she had passed before she was able to do that too. And I think when these types of shocks happen, it really just shows you how non-guaranteed life is, and how every moment you really don't know could be your last. I and I just can imagine living life not being able to cross off those checks, like sadly enough he and my grandmother had. And I was in a very depressive state for a very long time. I always believed depression was real, but I never could imagine or fathom what it was actually like, um, until that happened. So I'm sorry if I'm looking away from the camera a lot. I'm trying to gather my thoughts, and I've never been good at looking at the camera, to be honest. But yeah, yeah, I'm trying to redirect my life. I think I want to redirect this channel. I thought it being on a much more personal level, hence the logo change, all the videos being privated, and the obviously the YouTube name change, turning it to Renzo's Journal instead of Y&R Renzo. I think it's a much needed update, and I think that having this almost as like a private notebook that I can share with y'all is something that I've really want to do for a long time, and I think now's the appropriate time. I don't believe I have necessarily the most knowledge to bring to the table, but I actually want to make this into into like a learning. You know what I mean? Like being a young man, especially one without his father now, just learning how to go through life and fix these little things. And I want to take you guys on these adventures and see it with me. I feel like it'd be a great amount of fun. So no promises. I know last year I said I had a bunch of ideas for this channel that obviously did not come to fruition. But I genuinely do think that this could be something that would be very fun, very nice. And I guess y'all will see, right? Either this will work or this won't work. But regardless, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope to see you guys soon. Peace.